The role of a credit analyst is effectively to make a judgment about the credit worthiness of an obligor. Of course, it varies depending on the type of company and business and credit that the individual is looking at, but at the core, the question is, based on the information that you have and the capabilities and financial wherewithal of the entity that you are taking exposure to or extending money to, are they willing and able to make those payments as agreed down the road, and will you get your money back? That is the role of a credit analyst. As we know, technology is evolving and impacting every role and every aspect of how we do business in financial services, and that's not different for a credit analyst. So whereas in the past a credit analyst would have to take in a lot of information, enter that information, do ratio analysis, do interviews, ask some other questions, a lot of that is now going to come in pre-analyzed, pre-packaged, and the credit analyst will have to look at the analysis and make judgment and decisions about that, and the information is going to be more extensive, coming in from more directions, and require a higher level of thinking and judgment, which really will set the good analyst apart from one who is not as good. The credit analyst is a very attractive role for an individual to pursue. Number one, it is in demand. It's a role that is required by multiple companies and multiple industries. So certainly the benefit is that you have a set of skills that are necessary in the market. And you also get to see different industries, so you're not limited to one function or one type of business. You can work in banking, or you can work for an energy company, or you can even work in retail. Any company that takes exposure to other counterparties will require a credit analyst to do the work. So lots of possibilities, high demand, and an interesting and diverse role. The downside of being a credit analyst, if you think of it as a downside, is it does require a lot of judgment, and with judgment comes responsibility, and if you are not up to the task and you make the wrong judgment, it can have some bad consequences. So that's one downside. There's also a lot of pressures associated with that. You have to work on multiple projects. Sometimes you have to make fast decisions and accurate decisions, and you're not allowed to miss important detail, because if you miss it, somebody's going to lose money, and that's not good. So it is a job that requires a lot of responsibility, and you got to be willing to do that. So at the end of the day, a credit analyst has to make recommendations. To make recommendations, you have to do good analysis. To do good analysis, you have to be strong in both quantitative and qualitative skills. So the quantitative skills are the skills associated with evaluating financial information, evaluating market data, and being able to understand and do the math. The softer skills are the communication side. So once you do all the analysis, you have to be able to communicate it. And at the end of the day, you have to take the qualitative and the quantitative and put it together and make a recommendation. So a skill in being a good problem solver, very important. You have to recommend important decisions. So one of the biggest challenges facing companies when they hire talent into credit is the fact that individuals coming from university or business school do not necessarily have the practical skills required to be successful on the job. They may have theoretical skills, they may understand finance, they may understand accounting, but the reality of doing credit in a real life setting is very different. And so finding individuals that have that practical understanding is not easy, and then they have to spend enormous time and effort training and educating individuals to be able to apply what they have learned on the job. So how do we solve the problem of individuals not being job ready? This is where business schools and universities should really think carefully about incorporating a lot more real-life training and education within their curriculum. If business schools incorporated the reality of what happens when somebody graduates, those individuals will be far better prepared for the workplace, will be more job ready, and will help solve the company's challenge in finding job ready talent.